the pose, man. Should I mimic it?
Nice. Nice.
Sorry.
You're looking good. Hey, I like your office. Got some
Thanks,
good
man.
memorabilia in there.
Yeah. Apple's been good to us over the last couple of years. But man, we love the show and love your character, love everything you've done with it. And the way Jamie Tartt's evolved over the past 3 seasons, you've had to play almost 3 different characters, but you've done it so beautifully. I'm wondering if you have that Emmy speech ready to go, Phil.
Thanks, man. No, it's like being able to like see the progression and like the thing that I find cool is when Jamie has those moments where in the previous season he would have acted in a certain way, or in like for example when Danny Rojas turns up in season 1, and he sees this player, he has to be better than him, he has to beat him, and the way that he goes about that is trying to make Danny Rojas smaller so he can feel bigger. And then when Zava comes along, he still wants to like be better, but it's like he wants him to integrate within the team and for them to be like the best 11 that they can be, which is a pretty Ted Lasso notion.
It's amazing. And just the way this cast came together is also the whole vibe of this show. And I know that you weren't even originally supposed to play this character. This character wasn't even a part of it. How often do you look back in that journey? Can you shed a little light on getting cast in this show as Jamie Tartt?
Yeah, I think it was I mean I can't speak for what how they created that character, what was really going on with the sort of machinations of that, but I think that they have always been very open to responding to what the actors bring to the show. The writers, it's such a strength in the writing and the sort of leadership of the production in terms of delegating to the people who come onto it, which is again a super Ted Lasso thing, I think, of deferring to people who maybe are in a different position, understand it in a different way. And so I think that right from the off, they found, I mean, Danny Rojas, as he is now, was kind of created because they met Cristo Fernandez. And I think with Jamie, it adapted to, certainly they wrote in the sort of timbre of that Mancunian accent. I think they started to write towards that a bit more. So it's feeling just in some small way part of that process is so cool.
This feels like it's a small band that you fall in love with. That's what I always related to. I was part of that first fan base that loved the show when, people were talking about it. But then now that it's exploded, I try to knock and say, no, I loved it. Except the only difference is Apple TV was behind it. And that's kind of one of the biggest giants in the world. Do you feel like you had that ground support as a small band and you've evolved into the Beatles?
Yeah, man, we were just making the same show still. Like, we were conscious of the fact that people were enjoying it, but literally at the end of the day, Jason still spoke to you in the same way than he did in season 1 as he does in season 3. He sat with you. If you've got a particularly heavy scene, whoever that would be in the cast, he would come and sit with you, and he would reiterate certain parts where your character has been. He would talk you through, have a conversation with you about what your character's doing in this. And they were staples that meant that we would always come back to that in the show. And it's funny, really, because as far as we're concerned, we were so lucky that the cast pretty much stayed the same. That helps a lot because you have those touchstones with everybody and you're not making a different show. I think the DNA, hopefully, and also as a fan of the show myself, I feel like the DNA of the show has remained the same. These characters are still sort of, on that same journey. It doesn't totally shift. They just develop, and so it feels like it's developed rather than changed. I think it's probably a way of putting it.
Yeah. Poupe, was that your favorite line you've ever had to say in your career?
Yeah, 100%. Largely because it was mostly born out of me trying to make Brett Goldstein laugh, and that's it's somehow this the idiot that has is trying to make people laugh as it's stuck. That's good.
The behind the scenes photos that you had shared from the Flowers episode and riding bikes with Brett, as this comes to its potential end, how much did you savor those moments with Brett, with Jason, with the whole cast, in these last few episodes here?
Well, it's funny because we don't know it's the end or not. It's like it's just like enjoying them for what they were, and finding that if anything, it's like, no, this is going to go on. Like, we're still going to be mates because we enjoy it so much. It's like you can't not continue to have stuff like that. And with Brett, for example, you know, he's one of my closest friends now. I just think he's a very, very funny man. And I think that particularly going to Amsterdam, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been, but it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I hadn't been before, and being there with a bunch of mates was like, it was heaven. It was so great. So you can't help but cherish those moments, you know.
It's awesome, man. Well, listen, I'll let you go. I know you got a busy thing of these, but I'll just start sitting like this for all my interviews. I appreciate you, Phil.
Nice. It's good. Yeah, really good. Yeah. Just a quick bite of the fist. Nice.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye, man.
See ya.